Alright, so I'm going to be starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, hello everybody, I am Nightbarrel, back again with Moto 2 this time. So, Moto 2, of course, the sequel to Moto, originally released in 1997. And we're going to get started with Slip Gorge here, trying to get past everyone here because everybody is super relentless in this game. Now, in this game, bike control is of the utmost importance, even more so than Moto 1, because getting yourself onto the ground is way important, because otherwise you're going to lose a lot of speed and a lot of time. So as I try and navigate here through this tunnel, I guess I should start out with the basics again. Here in Moto 2, instead of having 4 set turbos per lap, we get a turbo bar, and you can use as much or as little turbo as you would like. The grapple meter is still there. You still have a limited amount of grapple to use per lap, or actually, no, it still refills over time. But here in this game, along with trying to stay onto the ground, you might want to avoid the walls as well, because that can really slow you down, or can even downright crash you. Since the physics are much better in this game than it is in Moto, it takes a lot more to knock you off your bike, but there's still some of the janky physics in this game that you just like fall off for no reason. Try to get past this turn up. See, they knew what they were doing when they placed that rock there in the middle, because it's kind of hard to make the turn tight enough so that you get onto the inside. So, and you really don't want to go on the outside either. But then again, hitting that rock is like worst case scenario. I still take that risk sometime. We're getting going over these hills. We don't have the hill grab in this game as we do in Moto 1, so we have to like brake and try and put our nose down so that we can still stick ourselves to the ground. Ooh, man, that like pulled me away there for a second there. Now, in this game, since we do have a turbo meter, I'm using a technique known as feather turboing. What it is that you just like barely flick the turbo button so that you get like a little burst of speed, but it's still enough to help you get back to top speed. And there's another turbo technique in this game. It's called ledge turboing, and hopefully I will show that off in certain tracks. But up next is the return of the suicide tracks. First up was Meltdown. Now, the suicide tracks in this game, like I said in my run of Moto, they are a lot more dangerous, and you are more prone to crashing into the other racers than in Moto 1. That is because, sure, there is a fewer number of riders, but the tracks are much more narrower, and there's a... Ooh, that was terrible. There's quite a few bottlenecks in certain parts of each suicide track, to where you will more than likely run into them. That was just terrible on my part. I should have braked a little bit better. But yeah, trying to get across these suicide turns requires a lot more finesse, I should say. There, see, it's almost like the AI is pinpointing into your position whenever you come across them. It's just super weird. And plus, in this game, the riders are a bit more spread out as compared to Moto 1, where it seems like everybody is like stuck together, like some kind of AI herd or whatnot. And somewhat similar to the first game, I keep hitting that ramp for some reason. Similar to the first game, I'm using like quite a bit of sharp turning, because I'm playing as Gadget, which is one of the heavier bikes in the game. But actually, like the heavier bikes because of that. They have a really good top speed, although not much acceleration, although the turbo really fixes that, no problem. And plus you can bully some of the lighter bikes around, provided that they don't knock you off themselves, which they can do sometimes. But other than that, I'm just used to the heavy bike controls rather than the lighter bikes, although some of the lighter bikes are better at some tracks, including the final track in the game, which is a lot of fun, and I'm excited to show that off to you guys. But overall, this has been an okay meltdown. A few crashes where it shouldn't happen, but you know, it's still decent. Okay, so up next is Aftershock. The main setting of this is that a huge earthquake has destroyed the city somewhat, and we're still going to race through it, because why not? And there's a lot of things that can slow you down here, as it's pretty terrible. Alright, impromptu route here. I was supposed to get onto the right side, but that's okay. Didn't waste too much time on that. But you can see all these broken highway bits. Yeah, those are essential time wasters here. And of course the streets, oh, if I can adjust to this. This is where putting your nose down really helps out here, as you can get like better control because since you're not up in the air as much, you can still adjust while you're on the ground. Swerve past these, and then we go through this hole right here without crashing, of course. Alright, let's see if we can get this time. Alright, probably should keep my nose down there and clip this wing here. It wasn't a very good clip, but still got over that dirt hill. Okay. And the grapple in this game, it feels like it's not as powerful as it is in Jet Moto 1, but it's still really serviceable. And in one of the tracks, I should say, using the grapple actually becomes much more prevalent, and it's actually one of my favorite tracks in the series, as a matter of fact. So, all right, that was okay. Okay, just to show off a little bit. Oh, I missed the wing. It's kind of tough adjusting from the controls of Jet Moto 1 over to Jet Moto 2 because, again, you are using the shoulder buttons and the directionals a lot more often than you are here and than in the first game. So it's really important to know how your bike controls, especially with your weight class. Because as soon as you figure out the little tricks that this game has to offer, then doing some of these turbo tricks and going off of these little jumps here, it's no problem. Okay, so that's it for the green circle tracks. Now we're going to head into the blue squares. First up is Arctic Blast. So, one of the more annoying parts of this track are the waves. They don't come towards you or away from you, they actually come at you from the side. And you basically have to get inside, in between those waves, in order to cross this part more easily. And there's a little ledge turbo right there, as I mentioned before. What you do with ledge turbos is, as soon as you touch like the lighter part of the ledge. Oh, come on. And then you turbo. You will get to the ground more quickly, and you have a bit of momentum to go along with it. Alright, going to cut across here. Used a bit more turbo than I would like. Of course, talking to you all kind of detracts my attention, but you know, it's okay. We're here to have fun, have a good time. And this is the first track to where the danger of falling takes place. In some of the blue square tracks in Moto, there really isn't that much danger to them. Only in Ice Crusher. But here, these tracks are a lot more dangerous. And thankfully, falling off doesn't necessarily put you back to the last checkpoint, just one of the nearby spawn points, I guess. And sometimes when you crash onto the track, sometimes it'll put you where the bike is, but sometimes it'll put you near a spawn point as well. So it really depends on where you're located at when you crash. Okay, that was just dumb. Alright, there we go. Oh, shouldn't have gone outside. Stick to the inside here. Alright, ledge turbo. Oh, didn't get the turbo off. But I am in between his waves, so this makes this part a little bit easier. I have to try and get on the inside as much as possible. There we go. That's much better. And again, of course, utilizing your shoulder buttons and your brake and your up arrow, up directional, I should say, really helps out in keeping your bike on the ground and just getting so much speed from that. Okay, so up next is going to be Hot Shot, and in my opinion, Hot Shot is actually the hardest blue square track in the game because they throw so much at you that it actually takes quite a bit to get past everything. So first things first. Oh, that wasn't a good start though. We're gonna enter the forest, and here in the forest, you actually move a lot more smoothly than on regular terrain, which makes your timing a bit off when trying to make turns in the forest to try to get in between the trees. Here, we just do a bunch of ledge turbos. Get past those, I forgot what they're called, mineral poles, that's what they are. Alright, so let's see, switchbacks. No problem. And again, we brake here. Oh, at least we try to. And then this is the most dangerous part here, is the ledges. Want to try and hug them for most of it, but to get past these little hills that are in the middle of the track, it's best to just go outside. Like so. Get past that river. You only have to turbo on the other side of the river, but I usually turbo on both sides just in case, because you don't want to get stuck in here for too long on that. Otherwise, you might end up in the river, and that might push you in directions you don't want to. There we go. That's much better. Although I'm going to hit that hill. Okay, alright, we're good. We're not good. We're not good. I turned a little too late on that, so that's one of the spawn points where you fall off of that area. which is right on top of that hill. Alright, see if we can get this right. Yeah, close enough. Alright, come on, let's get some ledge turbos over here. There we go. And for these switchbacks, I tend to brake a little bit just so I can get to the ground quicker and make the turn more easily. Otherwise, I usually just like turn into the grapple pole and slow me down quite a bit. There we go. Turn. Okay. It's really risky going to the outside when you're going at the speed that I am. Ooh, man. But, that was pretty lackluster, but, you know, that's okay. So, up next is, in my opinion, the hardest suicide track in the game, which is the shaft. I mean, the shaft itself, it's not that bad, but, being a suicide track and with 10 other racers, it amplifies the difficulty quite a bit, and mostly due in part of the metal bridges, which will be coming up in the second half of the course. But for now, we're going to use this little shortcut right here. No problem, and then we're going to try and get past everybody, and we just crash. Of course, everybody wants to get in the way. Alright, there we go. Again, they knew what they were doing by placing that stalactite, I want to say. I always get the two confused, and I almost end up not looking it up. But here are the middle bridges. All you have to do is just not lose any speed. Why are you doing that? Here we just nicked the little hill right here. Okay, let's focus here. There we go, little turbo right there. And there we go, no problem. And the middle bridge is a nightmare with all the other riders because they can easily knock you off. And you just hope that your bike will stay on there. Can I make it? Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's much better. Of course, these guys like to move around so much. And then this right side of the bridge is the most dangerous because everybody uses it. And, get over there. Nope, my bike fell. So we're doing it again. Alright, that was my fault. Alright, let's not let this get to us. Let's just take it easy this time around. But this is a speedrunning marathon, so... Like I said, with all these other riders, it becomes a lot more perilous. There we go. Ooh, almost ran into Bomber there. Ooh. Almost ran into that guy as well. Hunter's coming. Oh, that's Vampira. Never mind. Oop, they put me right where the bike was. Oh, okay. decided to put my nose up just in case someone decides to run through me. Alright, there we go. Oh, that was someone. I don't know who that was. It felt like something, like, bumped me. Like I said, these little bottlenecks can really mess you up. But we're just lucky to get out of that alive. So, we're gonna go from one of the hardest suicide tracks to actually my favorite track in the entire Jet Moto series, which is Rollerside. Now here in Rollerside, the use of the grapple is very important, especially when conserving your grapple reserve. And plus, it's on a freaking roller coaster. I usually hate roller coasters in real life, but this is a fun track. And what makes this track dangerous is you don't see the other riders coming from atop of the hill. So it's hard to adjust when you're making the climb. And of course there's a shortcut that you can use in between those two signs that I just passed. You can go in between those signs and go on top of that hill that I just passed. It saves like 2 to 4 seconds, but it is super inconsistent. And usually you'll end up either on the bottom of the hill, falling off the track, or just not getting past the signs at all and just crash into the wall. So it only works like, I don't know, 10% of the time. And it's usually reserved for IL runs. And especially with my bike class, I don't think he'll be able to get in between those signs, but I will at least attempt it on this lap. I didn't try it the last lap because everybody else was coming towards me, but let's give it a go. And plus the music for this track, it's my absolute favorite. It is so good. Okay, here we go. Okay, yeah. Yep, just as I figured, I didn't even make it past the wall. Okay, I tried. Because my bike is like so heavy that it's really tough to lift the bike up in order to get over that wall. So there you go. Corkscrew. And here I just make a 180 and turn back. It's a lot faster than having to go around the entire turn. I mean, it's a lot faster. And of course, couldn't get past everybody. And when you crash or fall off, your grapple reserve is refilled to full. So that's a good thing. And for this quarter pipe turn, just hard brake and then roll in sharp turn. Alright, get on inside there. Try to get on the left side. Or move on over to the right side. There's still quite a few to go. Alright, one more person. Alright, there we go. And there we go. That's Rollerside. Okay, so continuing on the Black Diamond tracks, we next have Kamate. And the big thing about Kamate is the suspension bridge. It's like super narrow, and it's very easy to fall off of it. As long as you don't have any other riders near you, it should be no problem. Alright, little ledge turbo right there. Alright, here's the bridge. I'm gonna take it easy, and then we're just gonna brake and turn here. Try not to use the grapple as much. And up and coming is the maze. We're just gonna go to this left side here. It's much more open. Go up here and then turbo out. There you go. It's a nice quick track, but it's super technical. Alright, brake a little bit on that. Yeah, when you get on the ledge of that bridge, you lose a bit of control on your bike. Okay, and there's a shortcut here on the left-hand side. You go up that ramp onto the bridge, and oh, come on, and it takes you all the way, I think, over here, which takes a bit of time to set up, but ultimately you can just do it normally, and you'll get there faster. I mean, there's a bit of quote-unquote shortcuts in this game, but they're highly impractical most of the time. Oh, there you go. Alright, let's see if we can get this through this maze clean now. There we go. That's a little bit better. This is where we usually meet up everybody else. And we just fall through for the finish. 228, that's actually... I think that's better than what I usually get. Or no. It's about the same. It's about average. Alright, so up next, the 9th track, Mach Schnell. This is a somewhat difficult track because there are a lot of things that can slow you down, and there are ways that you can fall off the track in more ways than one. Hopefully nobody touches me on this part. There we go. Hopefully the grapple was strong enough to pull me in. Oh, couldn't get over there quick enough. Okay, so coming up is the full pipe tunnel. There are several ways to get across it. The much more easier way is to just... I went too fast for that. Oh, put me here. Oh, how nice of them. Okay, let's get... Clutch turbo. I didn't think I got all that. Luckily there's enough turbo still to make that jump. I mean, I played enough of this game to, like, know the ins and outs of the tracks. It's just a matter of getting it with the controls. Because during warm-ups, I actually figured out a good way of getting through Nebulous. So, hopefully I won't blunder there. Okay, there we go. That's what I wanted to do. Just to get to the side and then just turbo out without getting too much air from that. Alright, so the full pipe tunnel, we're just going to try and go through the center of it. There we go. That's a more quicker way of getting through that. And there we go. That's what we wanted to do. Oh. Didn't quite get the turbo off of that, but we still made it. Oop, barely made it. To the side here. Oh, I'm passing people already. That's weird. Because all these AI are actually pre-recorded runs. And so if they happen to fall off the track, which they do often, especially in the harder difficulties, they usually get stuck in some way unless they respawn in a place that they know what to do then. Oh, didn't quite get all that turbo. As you can hear from that. Okay, since we're on the third lap, let's have a little fun here. Hopefully I can do this right. And there we go. That just shows you that only the bike needs to pass the finish line or checkpoint, and the rider doesn't have to. So already we're up to our final track of the game, which is Nebulous. And it is quite a doozy. They pulled no stops in designing this track. So here we go. I'm gonna take a little trip through heaven here. And no, I didn't do that properly. Alright, so we use like a copious amount of brake and sharp turning and rolling to stick ourselves to the track. And here we go. Down into the depths of hell. With this awesome soundtrack. And just like that, we're back up here. And that little bridge that I just crossed here, that's actually a suicide portion of the track where even if you're in first place, there are still chances where the other riders can still run into you. Oh man, I did not brake hard enough. Come on. And just like that, we're back on this part. Please make it. Okay, so we're gonna have to do this the long way. Alright, come on. Okay, hopefully we can do better this time. See if we can get this one. Still not right. Okay. So hopefully we'll get to the second portion of the track. It's not turning the way that it usually does, because it all depends on the bike position as soon as you leave that portion onto the sections. And I guess I'm not turning the bike enough for that. Of course, we want to get as low as possible so that we don't have to get so much air off of those little turns. There we go. That's a little bit better on that part. Alright, so this is the part where everybody is coming towards you. This is the dangerous part of this track. And we actually made it through no problem. Usually one or two decide to knock me off the track into the lava pits below. And that's what I love about this track. I love it and hate it. I've said it so many times in my stream that it's just really good track design. Alright, that's a little bit better. I'll take it. Alright, doing a little bit better on this part as well. Alright, everything's starting to come together. Hopefully we'll... Okay. For some reason I always tend to crash at that part. I don't know why. Oh, the Max. And Bomber. Alright. Hopefully nobody else is coming. Alright. Not necessarily the best hill climb, but it's actually better than most. And nobody coming here, so this is just a free trip over to the other side. And there we go. That has been Nebulous. Gonna climb this helix up to the tippy top. And then time is coming up very shortly when I cross this finish line, and time. So yeah, that is Jet Moto 2. It's a really fun game. It's a lot more difficult than Jet Moto 1, but you know, it's my favorite game in the series, possibly one of my favorite games of all time, and I still enjoy it, even though I don't quite get it at a speedrunning point, but you know, still had a lot of fun with that. So I will be back in a bit. I'm going to be switching over to something completely different, which is Super Stardust Ultra. So, be back in a bit.